talk about this plot.
Let's talk about it.
So, we watched it last night. Well, we watched it last night. You watched it
I think
4 or 5 times, so it's still fresh on your brain.
It earlier in this week, actually.
I'll give the plot premise, as per IMDb. A group of friends who meet regularly for game nights find themselves entangled in a real-life mystery when the shady brother of one of them is seemingly kidnapped by dangerous gangsters. Which I feel like it's missing some like very important detail in there. So this is where it gets a little dumb. But like it tries to be complicated and not complicated at the same time. I'm not sure which one it was trying to be exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very obvious from the beginning that there was some sort of like twist going on. I mean, they made it very clear.
Yeah.
So we start off with our 2 main characters, which are played by Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams.
Yep. Max and Annie.
They're a married couple who love to play board games and host game nights and do trivia and stuff.
That's the literal intro. They're at a trivia night at.
Yeah, and they tie, and they're like, "Wow, we're made for each other."
Yeah,
which is kind of cute.
Yeah,
and
they're giving the same answers at the same time, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah. What?
Oh, never mind. I'll get into it later when we come to the bits and why this movie is.
Oh yeah.
So great and why you're wrong about it.
And then we. And then we go into the game night, right? So we learn that they're having a hard time conceiving a child, which at first you're like, why does this matter? But it's like it's mildly relevant. It's kind of like the whole crux of not really the crux of the plot, but like what they're trying to say is the crux of the plot is that Jason Bateman is having a hard time like coming to terms with getting old, first of all, and settling down, and that his brother's better than him.
Yeah,
those are the 2 like main things, and so it's the idea is that it's stressing him out too much.
Yeah,
and then they go and have a game night with their friends. Gary, their neighbor, who is also a cop, is not invited, even though he used to be, and he's very upset about it. Very openly upset about it. And
why? But why don't they want to invite him?
Oh, because he's a downer. He just got divorced and he's kind of a loser.
He's also a little bit creepy.
Just a tad.
I would say.
I feel like he was endearing. I feel like he was like the like kind of creepy that I don't know. Sybil can probably attest to this. I accept kind of creepy to a point. If it's like I feel like I'm in danger, then like I don't accept it. But he was like an endearing kind of creepy where he was just kind of odd.
Yeah, I use the word creepy because of the one scene where he backs into his house and into the darkness, and they're just kind of like, "Do we go in?" Like,
yeah, I do like that one.
I thought that was a creepy moment for him, and he played it so well. It was so good.
Oh yeah, no, he's such
hilarious.
a good actor.
That was just so good.
And then Kyle Chandler, Brooks is his character's name, the brother to Jason Bateman, shows up and in Jason Bateman's Max, the character Max, his dream car, kind of showing off. And this pisses him off. Yeah. And so they have their game night. Brooks shows off a little too much. And then is like, hey, how about next week? We have it at my place. I rented this really bougie, really nice house, and we're going to kick it up a notch. And I swear I turned to Sybil in that moment. I was like, it's going to be some dumb murder mystery party thing. And then we get to the next scene. It's a dumb murder mystery party thing. Yeah. Which is like, in real life, actual cool idea for like a game night is this business that creates like a murder mystery for the entire group. They kidnap one of them, and then they have to solve the mystery. And it's really like, it's actually a cool idea. I think that should be a thing. It's like an escape room, but like in your house.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I hope so. If not, hey, Jarvis, do you want to talk about something after this?
Well, I know they have like murder mystery things that you can buy. Yeah. And it has all the stuff and you just kind of do it on your own. But
this one has like paid actors who break into the house and like kidnap somebody. So that's kind of cool. So the brother Brooks reveals this and is like, we're going to do this tonight. And whoever wins game night gets the car. which is an obvious ploy. I knew immediately. It was like he's either setting up his brother for success or failure immediately. No in between. No one else is supposed to win.
Yeah.
Like that'd just be bad.
Yeah, nepotism. We talked about that.
Right, yeah.
I think in somewhere else.
Star Wars?
One of our other videos. Go check it out. Find the nepotism
Yeah.
reference.
Find the nepotism and then comment about the nepotism.
Yeah.
And then while you're down there, actually, okay, before I keep going, I found this out. It's a really cool thing that YouTube started doing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna show for us. You ready? So everybody look at the like button right now. And when I say hit that like button, watch the little rainbow thing happen. It's neat.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Do it for the rainbow.
Do it for the rainbow. And then hit like. And then maybe hit subscribe. I don't know if subscribe does anything, but
You'll have to find out. I think there could be something really
there
cool.
could be. I don't know.
That button.
I saw that. I know this is a little sidetrack.
Give it a
I
try.
saw that because I was watching a video where somebody was like, in this video, I'm just going to sit down and hang out with y'all. I'm not going to do any of that like and subscribe stuff. And the little rainbow happened. I was like, oh, this is ironic. Anyways, so we get to the game night.
Yeah.
As the title suggests. And Brooks tells everybody that we're about to get started. It's all about to happen. Some actor saying that he's from the FBI comes in and is like, hey, there's some dangerous kidnappers in the neighborhood, and they're going to come and take one of you, and here's your dossiers to figure it out. And they're all like, oh, yeah, because the FBI is going to use us.
Well, let me stop you for a second.
Okay.
Because you're going over the movie, but you're leaving out all the funny stuff. Because so here's the thing.
My bad.
So let me go back and let me point out the funny stuff. Because I think one of the funniest lines in the actual movie is like, so we talk about the cop neighbor, the creepy, weird,
Gary.
odd, socially just weird, right?
Yeah.
One of the things is where they just went shopping, and they step out of their car and they're carrying their bags in, and he just appears out of his house.
Oh, you're talking about the Tostinos?
The Tostinos line because
Tostino scoops.
Because they show up, they carrying this bag, and there's obviously 3 large family size bags of Tostinos
scoops.
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, scoops. and he makes he says, oh, so you guys having a game night? And they're like, no, just me and my wife, just the 2 of us. We're gonna just have a 2-person hangout thing. So they're just trying to make it like, hey, we're not going to invite you. You're not invited. It's going to be a small thing.
Yeah.
When that's not true, obviously. It's a lie. They've invited all their friends. But he makes that line, and they're like, 3 bags of Tostitos scoops. And he was like, oh, yeah, they had a buy one, get 2 free deal.
3-for-1 sale.
Yeah, 3-for-1 sale. And he's like, 3 for 1?
How does that benefit Frito-Lay?
For Frito-Lay. I think it's subtle, but I think that's one of the funniest lines. And it pays off at the end credits.
It does. Well, all of Gary's lines paid off in the end credits.
Dude, it's so funny.
Everything he said came back in the end credits. There's another line while they're having their first game night where one of the other characters, Ryan, brings some random girl, and she's very obviously not bright. And then I think it was Lamorne Morris's character that turned and said, "Where'd you find her? A TED Talk?" I thought that was good. No, it was Kylie Bunbury's character. She played Michelle. She was very funny too.
So and then it's just the small stuff like them crawling in through the windows and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of
Jason
small
Bateman's
things.
like, oh, Night of the Living Dead in here. And,
I think that was Rachel McAdams.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, those are good. I like that too.
Yeah, and I just love Jason Bateman's little quips and because even in the doctor's office, because they were saying about how he's like, oh, is it me? Is it my fault? And she's like, yeah, I don't really like your motility. And they start talking about his brother because he's gonna be in town. He's like, oh, so we're just done talking about my sperm then? Yeah. So his little quips I just love. So
yeah, that's fun.
So there's a lot of funny stuff that you're just skimming right over.
Well, they're like. So
it's the little bits that add up to the whole that make the movie.
There's a rule in comedy where something is actually funny if it's extracted from the things surrounding it. And then there's what's called injected comedy, which is things that are like subjectively funny, but in the context, like they're not that funny. And I feel like there's like a heavy mix of both in this movie.
I would say a heavy mix that is balanced.
The thing with injected comedy is that there is no balance.
I'm just gonna always speak positively about this movie.
I'm doing my very best to speak what I believe to be true, in spite of like. I feel bad talking bad about any movie, including Rise of Skywalker, because like people worked on that.
Yeah,
it's a big deal for a lot of people. Well, imagine you're like, Mom, I got my big break. I'm an extra on Star Wars, and then it's the Rise of Skywalker. You know, that's not your fault.
That's true. I
like how we're this far in and we're still talking shit about Rise of Skywalker, though.
Yeah, go check out that episode. But I mean, but yeah. So I'm saying like, there's some funny parts, and I think that
I agree.
From what I heard, that Frito-Lay's line was hilarious.
Yeah,
it
feels like that one was ad-libbed. It's like that's how subtle it was.
I hope it was because it's so good. And some of those ad-lib lines, like,
pretty good.
Yeah, they usually turn out pretty great.
Yeah.
I think that one was. How does that make financial sense for Frito-Lay?
He's Jesse Plemons.
And his delivery,
funny.
So good. Okay, so we
got the FBI agent. He shows up and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is so great." And then like almost immediately, a couple of dudes break into the house.
Oh wait! I'm so sorry. But I have to note Jason Bateman's line, and when he says, "Oh yeah, the CIA needs our help."
Yeah.
and then you give us riddles, and it's just that's just Jason Bateman being Jason.
Oh
Bateman.
yeah,
but I love it. Okay.
Yeah. No, that was yes.
The FBI needs our help too.
I did like that one. It's like, oh yeah, because the FBI would have us help them. Yeah, that's good. So two dudes break in, and Brooks is like, guys, I know that y'all are like method actors and I'll be like busting in the door, and then they start trying to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, that whole fight scene is pretty good.
And that whole fight scene is really solid.
Pretty funny.
I was like, damn, he's good.
Yeah, taking on two guys at once. I mean,
it was pretty good. He still gets kidnapped, and everybody else is on the chairs like, drive safe, have fun, we'll see you later, because they believe it's a part of it. The FBI guy gets knocked out, and they're all like, "Oh, haha, it's all started." And then they just open up their things and start looking at stuff.
Yeah, what's his name?
You talking about the
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
Dude, he like kicks him a few times. He's like, "Man, this guy's really good."
Yeah,
he mentions
like, well, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, he's a real
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, this guy. But he's actually unconscious on the ground.
Everybody gets their little booklets on how to solve the mysteries.
Bloodless fight.
Bloodless
fight.
Yeah, nobody does it right.
Fight. Come on, that's funny, Ryan.
Yeah, well, I liked the what was her name? It was
his date that night. As he finds it first, we're both looking at it.
I know. Was it Glenda? I think it's Glenda. No. Whoever his date was, you'll find it. Balanced him out really well because he was kind of over the top, a little too over the top for me at times. And she pretty much just looked at him and was like, "What are you doing?"
She was good because she humbled him. It was Sharon.
Oh yes,
Sharon Horgan. She played Sarah.
Sarah, that's her name.
Yeah, she was. He kept calling her English or whatever, but she's Irish.
Yeah, and so she was just like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
They have a funny bit where they go off and they're like, "Oh, let's just pay off the company to tell us what the solution is."
Yeah, which has Chelsea Peretti.
Yes, and there's a funny bit where he tries to bribe her and is like, will this do it? It's like $10. She's like, no. It's like, okay. Will this do it?
Yeah,
it's $15.
He's slowly pushing money across
very
the
table.
Very slowly, and the camera angles and just the...
It's so excruciatingly slow.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so funny. I thought that was funny.
No, it was a good bit.
And then the last one was the $1 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then...
It was two $1 bills.
Yeah.
It was $17. And then he was like, well, how much will it take for you to give us the last hint? She's like, $100. Okay, well,
yeah,
just give him the $100. I don't have $100. How much do you have? $17.
She's like,
you only brought $17,
dude.
Which I thought was fun,
dude. To me, that again.
And then they got the final hint.
It's all gold to me. I love it.
And then we got Kevin and Michelle's characters who are actually like trying to do it, but they're in the middle of fighting with each other.
Their own bit. They had their own bit because of so before the guys broke in, they were doing the drinking game. And it was a Never Have I Ever, so that if you did it, you had to take a drink.
Yeah.
And one of them jokingly said, "I never have I ever had sex with somebody famous."
Yeah.
And she took
a drink very slyly.
Which starts their bit throughout the movie.
It's like, who'd you sleep with? Who was it?
Yeah, he keeps trying to figure it out.
And that we'll get to that because I'll make sure because that part was kind of funny, and I'll tell you why it was kind of funny when we get there. So they're trying to actually solve it. They get sabotaged and like are just fighting and break out like it was nothing. So I'll just gloss over that part. And then we got Max and Annie. That's Jason Bateman and
let me just say they were the only ones who were actually like playing the game correctly.
Yeah,
they were actually going through the clues and figuring stuff out. Because I think they got to.
They got to the second clue.
Yeah, the second clue, which nobody else did.
Yeah, so. And they were like, I don't know what.
They were playing fairly. So I'm just making a note. Shout out to them.
They played fair.
Yeah, fair.
They should have won.
But nepotism got in the way. So.
And then you got Max and Rachel McAdams who were like, let's just track his phone on Find My, and then they tracked it to some shady bar.
Yeah,
and weirdly, like, oh no, they dropped his phone in the dumpster, but they're right across over there at the bar. And then Rachel McAdams had a gun that Brooks dropped while fighting the dudes.
Yeah, they
and held the entire bar hostage for like 5 minutes. And she was like, "This is fun. We're just playing a game." Ha ha ha! Gun being waved around, and they're all like, "Well, this is bad. We're gonna get hurt."
So there's a funny part. I thought it was funny. Maybe you didn't. Where they try to test the bartender with the drinks.
Oh yeah, and he actually does it.
They're like, okay, let's give him because they thought he was an actor. Yeah,
they think everybody's an actor.
And so they were like, well, let's test this bartender. Like, let's give him a crazy order.
Yeah.
And so she goes first, and she's like, yeah, can I have a vodka tonic?
Yeah, it's like the exact drink.
Literally, it's 2 ingredients.
Yeah, and then he gets something and doesn't know exactly what it is, and he's like, it's good.
Yeah, the other, and then
Jason. I don't know if this is what it is, but it's good.
Jason Bateman's character is like, oh, I'll have what do they call?
I don't know.
Harvey Wallbanger or something like that. And he was like, I've actually never had this. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, again, it's a small bit.
We're so good at explaining movies.
Good. We're the best. Guys, like and subscribe right now for the best reviewers you've ever seen in your life.
So anyways, they find Brooks.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and he's tied up in the back room, and they're like, haha, we did it. Haha, we solved it. And he's like, this is not a game. This is not a game.
Well, wait, they did a
yoga?
No, the reference to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
She did a Pulp Fiction reference.
She's a Pulp Fiction reference.
If you haven't seen that movie, go see it because we will absolutely do a review on that one. Yes, it's going to happen. Yeah. And then we're going to reference Game Night when we're talking about.
You'll reference Game Night.
I will reference it. I was like, hey, man, remember when Game Night made a reference to this movie? I think a lot of movies have, probably.
Like most of them now, yeah.
A lot of them. But they did that. Oh, Rachel McAdams, like her physical comedy with the gun dude. Like, was hilarious.
Awful. She was singing into it. I was so cringy. Gun. Yeah, it was so cringy. And then
she's like putting in their face. She's dropping it.
I'm so scared. She was basically telegraphing that it was gonna get shot at some point.
Yeah. Well, I like the part where she was like, get on your knees, face to the ground, hands in the air. Yeah. She was just throwing out all these commands.
How do you? I can't possibly do all these at the same time. She's like, no. Have you ever done yoga?
Yeah, it was very realistic too. I think how cops do it in real life.
Yeah,
you're not quite sure how to do it, and then you get tased for not complying.
We gotta blaze through the rest of this.
Blazing.
We gotta blaze through the rest of it.
Let's blaze.
They catch Brooks, and they're like, haha, see, this is fun. We're doing the thing, and he's like, it's not a game. We're actually in trouble. And then the dudes break in and are actually trying to hurt them. They're like, oh, this is actually, we're in danger. And Rachel McAdams accidentally shoots Jason Bateman, and is like, oh my god, actually shows the stakes, and they're like, okay, we're actually in trouble. And they get in the car, they're getting chased down. Brooks is like, there's this guy, I owe him something. They're after me. They're coming after me. You gotta leave me. And they're like, we're not gonna leave you. It's like, okay, but you can't call the cops because then they'll get me. It's like, okay, we won't call the cops, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If somebody says don't call the cops when there's like obviously stuff going on, call the cops. Go to a hospital.
I mean, yes, I don't think it's that crazy because obviously his brother's done some very legal things.
Well, yeah.
He still wants to protect his brother. He still loves him even though he's, not a good person.
I'm just giving general advice. Your life is not a movie.
Yeah,
Get
please.
help.
Yeah, please do that. But in reference to this movie.
Yeah. Whatever. They're having a game night.
Yeah.
They're just having fun.
Yeah.
And then I believe Brooks jumps out of the car, is like, don't come after me. This is all my fault. And they're like, well, we got to go after him. But not before they fail to get the bullet out of Max's arm, which isn't actually
I'll
in the arm.
the bits in this one. Super funny. One of them is that
didn't watch it. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Did not watch this part.
Are you serious? Oh,
gross.
Because of the bullet hole.
And it went way too long.
Oh my god,
this went on way too long.
I think it was just enough. But like, there's a whole bit with her phone. They're trying to get this bullet out.
It's like a 5-minute scene.
Yeah, you know how your phone, like after a while, it'll get dimmer before it turns off, and she keeps, because she's doing stuff with her hands to try to get the bullet. She's touching the phone with her nose, and she's scrolling down the page. They're on some kind of like website to how to get a bullet. She Googled how to get a bullet out. And then there's a little bit where he's like, go into your settings and you can turn off the screensaver thing. And and they're having going back and forth. No, I'm just gonna do it this way. And he's like, no, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that hard. And she's just touching with her nose. And then the other bit in there was that it was kind of gross, and so they start doing like, ugh. Yeah. And then he's like, no, don't do that, because if you do that, I'm gonna do it. And then they're just go back and forth like, ugh, ugh, which I loved. I know you hated it. I loved it.
So basically, this turns into a copy of the Maltese Falcon, where if you ever heard of the Maltese Falcon, it's I've
heard of the, what is it? Peanut butter Falcon?
The Peanut Butter Falcon, also good. Yeah. But the Maltese Falcon created a trope called the MacGuffin. And the MacGuffin, in this case, is the egg, the Fabergé egg that they have to find to get...
definition of a MacGuffin.
To swap with Brooks. And so the people who kidnap Brooks call, and they're like, hey, meet us at midnight, or he's going to die. And they're like, oh, that's in an hour. So they have to go to this dude's place. Oh, actually, they have to figure out who the dude is. So they go back to Gary, and they're like, Gary, it's game night. We got to play game night right now in your house. And he's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's some funny bits in there.
There's some good funny bits.
This is the one we mentioned earlier. He creepily goes back into his very dark house.
Yeah.
Jason Max bleeds all over.
Yeah, his house and his dog.
His ex-wife's shrine.
And all of the weird ex-wife stuff. Just to look in the cop database for like the aliases for these guys.
And they get out of there real quick.
And then they get out real quick, like really quick. Like they could play like one round of Jenga, and then he's like, "Oh no, I lost. All right, let's go, everybody." And he's like, "Okay, bye." And so they go to this rich dude's house where there's some more bits. There's like hobo fighting.
Yeah, Ryan's character. Or Ryan,
a bunch of rich dudes dressed up in suits on like a Saturday or a Friday evening, because that's what rich people like to do in their free time is wear suits.
He mentions earlier that he read an article
about
that rich people are doing fight clubs.
Yeah,
they pay that off.
Yeah, it's paid off. All the rich people are wearing suits because that's what they do, right?
Yeah,
rich people love wearing suits.
And also the safe where the Fabergé egg was right in the middle of the room.
Right, for some reason, and it's just opened casually. Yeah,
because it's behind a painting.
Yeah.
So I'll give credit to CinemaSins for that one.
Yeah,
because I did watch the CinemaSins, and that's what I think brought up the game night for us, anyways.
Oh yeah, because you watched it.
Yeah, well, because I love it, but also CinemaSins recently did.
Oh, I didn't know it was recent. That's kind of fun.
That was but anyways, that was one of the things they mentioned.
Yeah, and so Ryan's like, "There's the egg," and so he just quite literally walks over there, grabs it, and they're all like, "Why are you grabbing that?" He's like, "I'm also rich." And then just starts running and booking it. And then they have this fun little Scooby-Doo chase around the house where they're like tossing the egg around.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
A little bit. And it also went on just a little bit too long, but it's fine because it was a Scooby-Doo type thing. It's kind of fun.
They have their serious talk.
Where
they start to uncover the issue with Max. Not wanting to have kids because he feels like he's going to lose out on life.
Right.
And her position is no, like life is just going to be starting for us.
Right.
Like it's wonderful, like having kids, starting a family. So.
Right. And then they meet up with the guys. Well, actually, while they're trying to meet up with the guys, the egg breaks. And they're like, oh no, it's broken, but there's a little piece of paper with some private information from people in the witness protection program in it. And they're like, we're here, the egg's broken, but we have the list. And the guys are like, okay, yeah, give us the list.
Yeah.
And then this is where we find out that this whole part was just a ploy for Gary to prove to everybody that he's actually a fun person to be with at game night. They're hired actors. The two people that actually kidnapped him, they're hired actors. And the hired actors
twist number one.
Yeah.
They're hired actors.
Yeah, that's the twist. And so Gary was like, yeah, see, I'm really cool, and I saved you guys. He fakes getting shot and everything.
Very elaborate.
And then they're like, well, what about the Fabergé egg? Like, what's the list? And he's like, what list? He pulls it up and he goes, this is like a witness protection program list. Like, where did you get this? And then he gets shot again in the arm, but actually shot. Yeah. The actual bad guy shows up and he's like, that's my list.
Which is Michael C. Hall.
I think so.
He played Dexter in the show Dexter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, that's him. It's the guy.
And then they're like, well, we'll just give you the list, and then you don't pay Brooks, and we're good. And Brooks was agrees. He was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, that's fine. He was like, well, why would he agree with that to that? Brooks grabs the list and just shoves it and swallows it, and they're like, well, dude, we'll just like put you on the jet and cut it out.
He's like, it'll buy some time. He's like, we're just gonna cut your stomach open on the jet on the way over.
Get it anyway.
Yeah,
you dummy. And so they grab Brooks, and Brooks is like, don't follow us. And we missed the part where the keys in the jacket pocket, and Brooks is like, see, I set this whole thing up so that you could win.
Is revealed.
Yeah, so the whole thing was set up so that you could win, so I could give you your dream car because of all the things that I did to you as a kid or whatever. And so Jason Bateman's got the keys to his dream car, but the dudes shoot the tires of all the cars before they leave so that they can't be followed.
Yep.
And then Brooks very clearly is like, do not follow us. And so they drive off, and it's like the closest airport's like right next to where Brooks was renting the place. So
conveniently.
Yeah, it's conveniently. So let's just follow him. They're like, well, we don't have a car. And he goes, yeah, we do, and jingles the keys.
Conveniently.
Next scene. On the plane, they're like, I'm going to stab you. No. And then the like whip cut to the car crashing through the gate.
Oh, yeah. Going around the corner. Drifting.
There's Jason Bateman in his dream car. And they
driving onto
the tarmac. And the plane's taking off. And the plane's taking off. And okay. Something happened. Sorry. We're at new studio. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, new studio. Who this?
We're having fun. We're having a great time. So, Jason Bateman starts driving the car and cuts off the tire and doesn't get crushed by the plane somehow, but the car crashes.
Yeah.
There's this whole shebang with the bad guys and him trying to like get the jump on them, and then he fails at it, and then Rachel McAdams shows up and is like,
well, there's a whole other bit with the charades thing.
Oh yeah, they do charades.
He calls out. He's like, this is some full circle.
Yeah.
Because they did a charades earlier in the movie.
They did a charades thing.
So basically, he charades to her because the guy's looking for her. She's around the little baggage claim thing. And he's like, hey, hit the switch because there's a big box. She hits the switch and it's going so slowly. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to go over and hit the guy. So he's
it's going too slow.
So he just walks out of the way.
The dude's watching. Yeah, the dude's just watching it. And then Rachel McAdams goes and grabs a fire extinguisher, just bashes it over his head.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then the dude dies by the jet.
Yeah, well, there's another bit because she says, "Wait, I'm
a mother. Not with that ass."
Yeah, not with that ass.
Really,
and she was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, and then that good dude gets sucked up into the jet because that's the thing that happens.
She says her cute line. Oh no, he died.
Yeah. Oh no, he died.
I mean, it's Rachel McAdams. She's just cute.
And then Jason Bateman's fighting Dexter, basically.
Yeah.
And is losing, and then Rachel McAdams comes in with her fire extinguisher and just beats him over the head again. It's like, I got the drop on him.
Yep. Save the day.
And then that's where Brooks does his little cute line where he goes, you guys won game night. And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, no, but wouldn't that be crazy?
That's where they're dumb. Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the previous joke with Jason Bateman, like, oh, this is some full circle.
Yeah. It's very tongue in cheek. Like, it's self-aware. It's the kind of thing that, like, As a dude who wrote a movie about three guys making a movie, I understand it. It's to protect your ego, and that's fine. But like, come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like double-edged sword here.
Yeah.
Like you can point it out, but that doesn't make it better.
Again, yeah. That, like, you know, going back to our beginning of this video, I think it's like if you're more of a casual moviegoer, you're you know, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, it's a very like turn off your brain, go watch a movie.
Turn off your brain, just go watch it, laugh at the bits, and have a good time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but if you can't turn off your intellect, your IQ's always up, you might find a lot of plot holes and things that don't make much sense.
Yeah,
Ask CinemaSins.
Yeah, I definitely did that.
We have a whole video on it
the whole time.
Yeah.
And then there's a fun little.
Sometimes it's hard not to. I mean, I do that too.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, but like.
Sometimes a movie rubs you the wrong way, like shortly into it, and you're like, I don't want to watch this.
Non-consensually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey. You look good over there.
Look real good.
We thought about sharing your kindness with others.
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.